Hey guys, this is Alex here from Wave Strength Performance, and in today's Coaching Short, I want to talk to you about the benefits and the importance of low intensity conditioning. So this is something that we'll often prescribe to our athletes and clients, and it's something that I think is really underutilized and not fully understood. So I want to take some time to kind of explain the why or some of the benefits that it can provide. So before we go any further, I want to define what we mean when we're talking about low intensity conditioning. So for these purposes, low intensity conditioning is going to be anything that's below 75% of our max heart rate. And now you may be asking yourself, well, what's so great about it? Why is it so important? The first reason that low intensity conditioning is so important is it provides an adaptation that high intensity methods just can't do. And that is promoting eccentric hypertrophy of the heart, right? So hypertrophy just means we're increasing muscle fiber size. Eccentric hypertrophy means that the heart is actually going to become more elastic and it's going to expand to meet a growing demand for an increase in blood volume in the heart. What that's going to do is it's going to increase the total volume that the heart can hold per heartbeat. And what that's going to do is it's going to increase oxygen delivery. So what I just talked about is called an increase in stroke volume. When we increase stroke volume, we increase oxygen delivery, and that's really the name of the game here, right? So athletes who are considered more in shape or more well conditioned, they can deliver and utilize oxygen at a faster rate than other people. The second benefit that low intensity conditioning provides that higher intensity methods just can't do is it's going to increase our efficiency in energy production, right? So this means that we're going to be able to work at higher outputs or higher intensities for longer durations and at lower relative heart rates. For example, if I was running a 6 minute mile pace and I did some more low intensity methods and then kind of retested myself, I might be able to now run a 5:45 mile pace at the same heart rate, right? So that's an increase in energy production efficiency. Third reason is that low intensity conditioning methods are going to be able to help us increase our recoverability in between bouts of work, right? So the easiest example of this is an American football player, right? So they're going to go for about 6 to 8 seconds of work and they'll have probably like 20 to 30 seconds of rest. So let's say we took a football player and we did some low intensity conditioning with them for a month or two. Ideally, what we would see is they're going to be able to drop their heart rate to a greater degree in that 20 to 30 seconds of rest now, right? So they're dropping their heart rate more beats per minute in that fixed time. Some other noted benefits of low intensity conditioning that you might hear about is it's going to help us improve our sleep. There's been noted improvements in mood, improvements in memory retention, and overall improvements in stress management and recoverability of our body. So you might be saying, well, can I get the same benefits from doing high intensity conditioning or HIIT methods, right? Conditioning is conditioning, isn't it? And the answer is no, right? That doesn't mean that HIIT or high intensity conditioning is not beneficial. There's always a time and place for things, but it's not going to be able to provide the same adaptations that I described above. So what happens when the heart or when we cross that threshold above 75% of our max heart rate is that the heart actually can't fill the capacity anymore because it's beating too fast, right? So we're not going to get that eccentric hypertrophy of the heart like I talked about. We're now going to get concentric hypertrophy of the heart, which is not going to be expanding or increasing blood volume within the chamber. It's actually just going to be increasing the thickness of the heart walls without an increase in volume in the heart chamber, right? So we're not getting that same increase in stroke volume. We're not getting a higher blood volume or higher O2 level per heartbeat. We're just creating more pressure to try and pump the blood faster through the system to the tissues. And then the last reason that HIIT or high intensity methods don't provide the same benefits that low intensity conditioning does is we're going to need more time to recover from it, right? So typically you're going to need about 24 to 48 hours of recovery in between bouts or sessions of high intensity interval training. Um, you'll see people who try and do, HIIT training on back-to-back days. And there's something that's called the fitness fatigue paradigm. All that means is that fatigue is going to mask fitness until we're able to recover from it, right? So if we never give ourselves the chance to recover from our conditioning methods, we're not going to reap or be able to see the benefits of those conditioning methods, right? So if I'm doing back-to-back days of HIIT training, I'm just staying in this fatigued state, and what you'll often see is you might feel more out of shape because you're not allowing yourself to recover. Low intensity conditioning is something that we can do every day of the week. We don't need that same amount of time to recover from it. That doesn't mean we never include HIIT training. It just means I can do lower intensity training at a higher frequency. So the last thing I wanted to leave you with is I have a couple crude drawings here, but I just wanted to give you a visual of the difference between that eccentric and that concentric hypertrophy of the heart, right? So as you can see in the middle here, the eccentric hypertrophy, we get a greater total volume within the heart chamber, right? So we're increasing muscle fiber to relatively similar sizes, but I don't get that same increase in volume within the chamber with the concentric hypertrophy, right? As you can see here, we're just increasing the thickness of the heart walls. Again, not necessarily a bad thing. These are just two very different adaptations, right? And I think that the general public and athletes especially will really benefit from this underutilized method of more low intensity means. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully now you know the why between a lot of the conditioning methods that we'll prescribe to you. So I look forward to our next Coach in Short. See you guys next time.